Are you a man looking for that special someone? Then we have just what you need. Join us for an experience like you've never seen before. We are setting out across the African diaspora to bring you beautiful ladies who are in search of one thing: love. We will feature women from all walks of life with differing backgrounds. Our in-depth interviews will ask all of the important questions that you want answered. Might there be a woman out there looking for a man like you? Well, you'll just have to watch and see.
Hi, I'm Nashim. I'm a soft, humble girl. I'm looking for love that relates to marriage.
Hi, I'm Cynthia, and I would describe myself as an outgoing, fun, loving, full of attitude sometimes, and I am here to look for love, basically someone to have fun with, go out on dates with, light-skinned, with tattoos, and has got the drip.
Hi, I'm Bridget Balik. I'm a fun, caring, loving person. I'm here for love, relationship that's gonna lead to marriage. Only serious guys, please.
Hello, I'm Option Queen Official, and I'm here looking for a rich Nigerian guy. I'm curious, I'm good at spending money. I'm a party host, so I'm looking for someone. We have fun and spend money.
Hi, I'm Susie. I'm an outgoing person, fun and jolly girl. I'm here to look for a friend. I don't mind any country.
Hi, I'm Zoe. I'm a jolly person. I'm an outgoing person. So I'm looking for a man who is jolly, who loves going outside, who loves swimming, traveling around. I love this music. I love playing the guitar. That's the best thing I love in my life. And I love loving others as they love me too.
I just think if you're a young man listening to this, it's important to choose your role models carefully, and try to choose guys who are actually succeeding at something other than just giving advice. Who can actually have good conversations with a variety of people on their podcast, or actually are making money in crypto, or have actually founded some company that's doing well, or who aren't just anonymous behind the scenes kind of Manosphere trolls.
Listen, if you want to have a gatekeep conversation, if you want to keep it black, you gotta do the business. You gotta do the business.
Okay.
I'm sorry, man. You gotta do the business. I'm sorry. Lots of pro-blacks keep losing because they don't want to do the business.
Let me ask you this, and I want to get everybody else into the conversation, but I just want to ask you one question because you keep talking about the business. How did you get Anthony Dream Johnson out of here?
How did I do it?
Yeah.
I basically told him, well, on no uncertain terms, I respect what you do. I have mad respect for what you do. I particularly respected your takedown of Donovan Sharp. With regard to my brother, Kevin Samuels, I don't think that you have any truck on this.
Hold on. So you mean you didn't go spend a big bag of money and start buying classes and sit at the feet of Kevin Samuels in order to say that Anthony Dream Johnson can't be here?
Absolutely.
You didn't do that?
Absolutely.
So why are you telling me to do that?
Because you're not me. You're not me.
I'm gonna do something that I normally would not do. I am very particular about recommendations. So if I'm going to recommend something, I'm going to recommend it on the strength of the character of the person who I know wrote the book. He's my friend and he wrote a hell of a book, and I think you should all pick it up. Yes, I want you to go buy a copy. He cites his sources. If you like me and data, you'll love him. Here you go. The Book of Obsidian.
The Book of Obsidian. After more than a decade of the most intense boots-on-the-ground study of relationships and the science of human mating, Mumia Obsidian Ali, one of the founding fathers of the Black Manosphere and longtime podcaster, talk radio host, blogger, and writer, finally weighs in and gives his take. Read the Book of Obsidian and find out why it's a #1 bestseller on Amazon. The Book of Obsidian, on sale now wherever fine books are sold. The Book of Obsidian.
I have devoted all of my adult life to this subject. I only debate with my equals. All others I teach. To this subject. I only debate with my equals. All others I teach.
And it is 16 minutes past the hour. You're listening to Obsidian Radio, and we are live. It is 38 chilly degrees here in the city of brotherly love, the Philadelphia 215, home of yours truly, the O Man. Let us proceed to get it, shall we? Glad to be here on this TGIF morning. And we are waiting for our special guest, MrShowTym, all the way from South Africa, maybe working out some time zone issues and things of that nature. We had a heck of a transatlantic interview day before yesterday on Wednesday with the lovely Miss Jessica X. If you missed it, you can check out that live here on this channel. I ain't going to front. We had plans to do a double header on Wednesday. We were going to come back on Wednesday evening and do another live with some brothers I had something lined up with, but I ain't going to hold you, man. After doing damn near a whole work shift with the lovely Miss Jessica X and all of you, I decided to just, take it easy for the rest of the day. So we're going to reschedule that latter show. Hopefully sometime in the coming week, we will be coming back with that. But we are waiting for our special guest, MrShowTym, to join us. Hopefully he will be able to do so, coming all the way from South Africa this time with the lovely Miss Jessica X. That was from London. This time from South Africa in my good friend and brother O'Shea Duke Jackson's backyard. Of course, you've seen the ad for his dating show. I'm going to check in with it. Matter of fact, this weekend, see how they're doing. They launched it last month. Pan-African dating show. The premise of the show, of course, is that they are going to be featuring brothers from the United States going over to various points in Africa in search for a lovely lady to make a wife. So we're going to see how that all turns out. I'm going to check back in with the show this weekend, because by now they have several episodes in. I want to see how things are going. I did see a mini review of an episode over on Bernard Riley's channel, The Grown Man Hour. I did see one of those episodes, and I thought it was pretty interesting. So I said, yeah, I'll go and check it out. But congratulations to O'Shea Duke Jackson, very hardworking brother, one of the three kings of the Black Manosphere, doing very well. As a matter of fact, I talked to him about a week and a half ago. And he was, in the thick of filming. And so I believe they started out in Uganda, and then they went from there to Kenya. And then they told me that they was going to be heading to Rwanda to do filming. And he's got a complete film crew and all the rest of it. And you've seen the trailer to it. I mean, this is top flight professional production. The ladies are, oh my God, fantastic. They're stomped down beautiful. I mean, anybody that has any because let's be honest, there's a lot of stereotypes regarding Africa in general. Of course, very big place, lots of countries, over 50. And people may be, under the impression about various things about Africa, various stereotypes and stuff like that. I got to tell you, when I'm looking at the trailer for the show, to look at the ladies, they're right here in the United States. The black women right here that look like them, the women in the trailer. And then, like I said, the one episode that Bernard Riley did a review of, again, the women look like they could be right here from the United States. The only difference is, of course, obviously, when they open their mouth, you can hear, obviously a non-American accent. But, they look the same, man. I mean, the ladies look fantastic. And so, it's a really top flight show. I'm very proud of O'Shea for doing the show. It no doubt is an expansion. Now, last year or the year before that, you could make a debate about the Passport Brother piece or the SYSBM piece. You could debate it. You say, well, I don't think that after what O'Shea did with the Pan-African dating show, and after what the Filipina P did with her recent clapback on Passport Brother critics. And if you haven't seen that video, just type in Filipina P, P-E-A, like green peas, and type in Passport Brothers. You see what I'm talking about. I think it is fair to say that the Passport Brothers have truly arrived. It is a global movement, and that is the whole purpose behind today's show with my special guest, MrShowTym, and I'm emailing him right now to see, what's what. This is the first time I've ever done anything out of South Africa. So hopefully the stars will align here and we can get everything together. So please bear with us. We're building the plane while we're flying it. MrShowTym saw one of my lives all the way from South Africa. He's an up-and-coming YouTuber. He reached out to me, and we got talking behind the scenes, and I found out a bit about him and who he's about and where he's from. I was like, man, I'd love to have you come on because he has an interesting perspective to share on Black Manosphere issues. And so I'm looking forward to that. But in the meantime, while we waiting for him, let everybody in the chat room and everybody listening know the channel has been demonetized. It's temporary. It's purely temporary. We'll be back up and running in time for Christmas. But until then, we have been demonetized. But one monkey don't stop the show. We still need support to keep things going. Just got finished thanking or appreciating and praising O'Shea Duke Jackson for the excellent work that he's done in general and with the Pan-African dating show in particular, Top Flight Production. Let me give big shout out to Angry Man, another one of the three kings of the Black Manosphere. He's been blowing up of late. Last time I checked, he's nearly 80,000 subs at this point, doing very well. That's excellent. I'm glad to see that things are moving along for him as well. Top Flight Production. Angry Man, very talented. And I'm glad to see that things are doing well for him. And it's the same thing here. Everybody's, all eyes are on the O-Man now. They say, okay, O'Shea got it on and popping. Angry Man's got it all in popping. So now all eyes are on the O-Man now. And we can get there with your support. And you can do that, even though we've been demonetized temporarily, so we can get everything back into YouTube compliance with, copyright issues and stuff like that. But taking care of that in the back office. You can still support the show via Cash App, $ Obsidian Radio, $ Obsidian Radio. Matter of fact, let me put my little running banner here so everybody can see that at the bottom. You can also support the show via Patreon, www.patreon.com/Mumia Obsidian Ali. As a matter of fact, I now have, and you know what? I'm going to fix the banner right now while I have it on my mind, because I've been meaning to do that. So let me fix it right now, because before last month, I had uploaded over 200 vintage classic podcasts that I had to take down from YouTube because of the whole demonetization piece. So at the time, it was over 100. Now it's over 200 vintage podcasts that I had to take down and re-upload over on Patreon. So they're over there right now, and I'll be adding more and more and more. I got like something like 1,300 all together. So once we get everything straightened out over the next few weeks, from that point forward, I will continually add to the Patreon archive. So if you want to get those classic shows, they'll be over on Patreon, not here on YouTube. And that's just the beginning. I've been thinking about how I want to take Patreon in the coming year, what I want to do with it. And I got some ideas. I want to test them out. You guys that are my patrons, I want to thank you so much for supporting the show. I deeply appreciate it. And you will be my guinea pigs as I test out various new ideas. You get a chance to get an early look and a vote to determine if we should, scale it up and bring it to YouTube proper. You guys will get a taste of that. So all of that over on YouTube, all that over on Patreon, www.patreon.com/Mumia Obsidian Ali. I was over on Clubhouse. One of the things I've been doing of late is spending time over on Clubhouse. And because a lot of people were telling me, Obsidian, you need to be over on Clubhouse. What you do is perfect for Clubhouse. So I've been investigating it, spending some time over there. And I was just over there this morning and having some conversations with the lovely ladies over there. And my book came up. What am I talking about? The Book of Obsidian, the ladies edition. We call it the Red Book. I am literally red pilling the ladies on the real deal. They've had all this junk put in their head by all these different individuals, Steve Harvey and Derek Jackson and so on, Oprah Winfrey and all the rest of it. So I've been attempting to kind of cleanse their head of that sort of thing and let them know about the book. Quite a few ladies said, yeah, I'm going to get the book. And if I don't like it, I'm going to let you know. I said, yep, you do that. You get the book. And if you don't like it, head on over to Amazon and tell me how horrible it is. But of course, the more you do that, the more it tells me that I've done my job. And now I have autograph signed copies ready to roll. They make excellent holiday gifts, my brothers. You want to really get the sisters goat, give them the Red Book. Red pill the hell out of them with the Book of Obsidian, the ladies edition. Signed autograph copies now available. All you got to do is just send $35 or more to my Cash App, $ Obsidian Radio. $ Obsidian Radio. Please don't forget to put the name of the lady you want me to sign it out to and where you want me to send it to. And I'll be more than happy to send out a signed autograph copy of the Book of Obsidian, the ladies edition. We are waiting patiently for our special guest, Mr. Showtime, to join us all the way from South Africa. And I'm pretty sure that there may be some tech issues or things like that. First time we've ever tried to attempt to do anything like this. But until then, until he arrives, we are in open forum, open discussion. Let me put the link in the chat room on this beautiful Friday morning. I see my man Pablo in the building, Pablo Fresco Bar, who writes, I keep telling y'all there are more beautiful women abroad than the USA. And he would be right about that. He would be correct. Now, where things go from there, open question. But as far as the immediate market, I was saying this to the ladies over on Clubhouse. Men, and we're talking about, of course, we're talking about the community. We're talking about Black America. So when I say men, I mean Black men. Nothing happens if you don't pass the boner test. I was saying this to the ladies over there. The ladies that are, as young as 18 and as old as nearly my age, and I'm 54 years young. My 54th was last week. Archers of the World Unite. I was holding forth over on Clubhouse and saying to the ladies, listen, nothing happens unless you pass the boner test. It's that simple. Because they said, well, what about, getting to know us? And what about getting to talk to us and getting to know us and how we think and what our personality is? I said, listen, all of those things are great. They're great to do. They're great to have. But unless you pass the boner test, it doesn't matter. I know you don't want to hear that. I know many of you ladies don't like that. I know that's true. I understand. I get it. But if he doesn't want to mount you, if he doesn't want to F you, all the other stuff doesn't really count. I know that's harsh to say, but it's true. It's true. Now, once you pass that visual boner test, okay, great. You have other conversations. But all that stuff that really doesn't count. It just doesn't. And I talk about how and why in the book of Obsidian. So for the ladies, the red book, I talk about how and why that is. And it's harsh to say that. I agree. It's not what, Steve Harvey and Derek Jackson, all these people, Ace Metaphor, they'll tell you how beautiful you are and how deserving you are and how entitled you are, and you're entitled to the best, and you're a beautiful spirit and a beautiful soul and all the rest of it. Listen, look, even if all of that is true, if you don't pass the boner test, where's my echo box at? Nothing happens. Nothing. If we do not want to mount you, nothing will happen. You could be a great person. You could have the patience of Job. You could be a virtuous woman. You could be Mother Teresa and Florence Nightingale rolled into one. You could be a superwoman. But if we do not want to mount you, nothing happens. Nothing. See? And the lovely ladies over at Clubhouse were very upset with me. Call me all kind of nakers. Call me all kind of names. Call me a naker. Call me a so-and-so, etc. But all the brothers were just sitting there, shaking their head like, yeah, what he said is true. And I blame the black love gurus for that. I do. I blame the black love gurus. It's their fault for this state of affairs. They have erroneously told the lovely ladies that it doesn't matter what they look like, doesn't matter what they act like, doesn't matter what they do, doesn't matter what they've done, doesn't matter who've done them. All those things don't matter. No, it does matter. It matters a lot. It matters a lot. It does matter. And the first hurdle is whether or not we want to bone you. The boner test. That's the first hurdle. After that, then your personality matters. Your personality doesn't matter unless we want to bone you. Then after that, after post-nut clarity, then your personality becomes a consideration. But prior to post-nut clarity, all that doesn't matter. It's just like, so what? The ladies over on Clubhouse, well, explain to me, Mr. Mumia, explain to me, how is it that you men, y'all like to, you say that you don't like so-and-so and so-and-so, and then you turn around and you do so-and-so and so-and-so. I say, oh yeah, that's very easy. They lied to you. That's very easy. Men lie to women all the time. I don't approve of that. We don't abide by that in this dojo. We strive to be truthful and honest. And shout out to the late, great, we can now say, late, great Alan Roger Curry. We strive to be upfront and straightforward. But the simple, and I'm not proud to say this. I take no pleasure in this because I am a black man. But the simple truth of the matter is that there are quite a few black men out there who can and will lie to you, ladies. They'll tell you whatever they need to tell you to get on top of you, to get behind you, to get in you. That's the truth. Again, I'm not proud of that. I don't condone or endorse that. I don't teach that. I don't advocate for that, but it is true. So all of you ladies out there that are kind of miffed and perturbed by black men saying, well, we don't like women that put out, too early, they're lying to you. All you ladies out there that are upset about the fact that the men say that they want to get to know you first. In reality, they don't. Guess what? They're lying to you. They lied. They lied. Men want to have sex with you as quickly as possible. That is the truth. Men take you out on dates because they want to have sex with you. That is the truth. Okay? That's the truth. Men are not taking you out on dates for your great effervescent conversation. Men are not taking you out for your great erudition and sparkling intellect. Men aren't taking you out to vet you to see if you're a wife. They can't vet you to see if you're a wife if they haven't seen what your birth canal looks like. I'm telling you the truth. Well, not all men feel that way. Yes, all men feel that way. How do I know? How do you know, Obsidian, that all men feel this way? I know because I'm a man. Okay? That's how I know. I've been a man a lot longer than you, ladies. And that's how I know. We want to have sex with you as soon as possible. Quickly, quickly, quickly. Expeditiously. We want it now. Now, just because men want to do it doesn't mean that it's always going to happen. For some men, they may not have any choice but to wait 90 days. They may be, Chris Rock, the great philosopher, Chris Rock, said it best. Men are only as faithful as their options. They only can do what their options will allow. That's true. So for some brothers, they may have to wait 90 days. Shout out to Steve Harvey. They may have to wait 90 days. They may not have any options but to wait 90 days. But for some brothers, they may not have to wait 90 days. But what they all have in common is that they don't want to wait 90 days. No man wants to wait 90 days. Now, there's some men who may have to do it, but no man wants to wait 90 days. They want to mount you expeditiously. That is why they're taking you out on a date, so they can mount you. That's the truth. Now, after post-nut clarity, if you happen to be a sister that has a head on her shoulders, if you happen to be a sister that's pleasant, if you happen to be a sister that has good conversation, if you happen to be a sister that's got something going on between her ears, okay, that's a different conversation. That it very well may be that we like you after post-nut clarity. It could very well be. As a matter of fact, what I say in this dojo is when you have, a situation in which we get along with you lovely ladies when we're both standing up, and then we have a really great time when we're both laying down. You know what we call that? We call that a relationship. Because we like you when we're standing up and we like you when you're laying down. But we can't get to the standing up part until we've had you laying down first. That's how it works. That's the truth. I know a lot of ladies don't want to hear that, but that's the truth. It is. Why do you think guys have women flued out and all this stuff? What do you think that's all about? Come on. We can't hear a damn thing you're saying until we've seen you bent over. Post-nut clarity. Once we get that out of the way, okay, I didn't even know she liked to read. Okay, good. I had no idea she was an avid bird watcher. See, before post-nut clarity, we don't care anything about that. We don't give a damn if you like to watch birds, you like to watch monkeys, you like to go to the zoo, you love, Mutual Omaha's Wild Kingdom. We don't. So what? So what? Don't care. And the lovely ladies over at Clubhouse were very upset with me to report these things. And listen, I'm just telling you the truth. I'm willing to tell you what Derek Jackson and Steve Harvey and Ace Metaphor and all these other people, they're not going to tell you this. I'm telling you the truth. We can't hear a damn thing you're saying until we've seen you bent over. It's like we're deaf. Really. You honestly believe, ladies, that the man that's sitting across from you on that date and dinner is actually listening to you? You really believe that? You honestly believe that? Now, I'm not saying that y'all been together for some time. Y'all been together for a while. you're engaged, you're married. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about early on, before he's had a chance to bend you over. You honestly believe that he's paying rapt attention to you? No, what he's doing is he's counting down the minutes to when he can bend you over. That's what he's doing. He's counting down the minutes. Okay? That's the truth. And we understand that we got to do the kabuki dance. We got to take you out. We got, and so on and so forth. We got to take you, get something to eat, and got to get you some Moscato. Black women love Moscato. Moscato. We got to get some Moscato. We understand that. So we do that. But don't fool yourself, ladies. And this is especially true for the ladies over 35. And I wrote my book, the Book of Obsidian, the ladies edition, the red book. I wrote it specifically for the over 35 crowd. Because see, what I found is that I used to listen to Kevin. God, I love Kevin, and I miss Kevin. I miss him so much. I used to watch his show, and these ladies would call in, and they would give their life story to him. And at some point along the way, he asked, well, what happened? Well, I was young. Okay. And I'm sitting there taking notes. I said, okay. I'm going to have to do something about this because I'm hearing far too many lovely ladies of the community saying I was young. I said, okay, look. For you ladies out there 18 and over, 18 to 30, okay, I will buy that you were young. You didn't know any better, you were young. Okay, great, got it. I'm not buying a lady that's over 35, deep into no man's land, talking about how young they was. I'm not trying to hear it. Madam, you are now at an age, especially if you done had whole human beings pass through your body, you're of an age to understand what's going on here. You know better than most what post-nut clarity is. Let's go. Let's what are we doing here? What's the deal? You either want to do it or you don't. Come on. And the brother here is making a really good point. Let me put him on the board. Jay Shaw, y'all working too hard for the button. See, I'm glad he says that. Because that's a major issue in Black American society today. A lot of these ladies, get amnesia over the fact that they've given up the yams to knuckleheads for little or nothing. And then want the brothers that's halfway decent, that's got something going for them, the Henrys, the blue Henrys, the white collar Henrys, the blue Henrys. They want them to jump through all kind of crazy hoops and all the rest of it. What the hell? And I found this to be especially true. You would think that this would be true among young ladies. You would think that, 18 to 30, you would think this would be especially true there. No. You want to know who it's especially true among? Women over 40. What the hell? The relative few of you ladies over 40 that been divorced. And it is statistically low. You're looking at, I think, of adult age Black women right now, only like maybe 10, 12% have been divorced, something like that. The vast majority of you have never been married, but most of you have had kids. Stop it. You know what this is about. Well, it don't mean that because I did it last time, I got to do it now. Yes, it does. We men want to bone you for a flat rate, ladies. If you did it for Pookie, and if you did it for Ray Ray, and if you did it for Yap Yap, and if you did it for Mike Mike, and Man Man, and One Pump Paul for the free, damn it, you're going to do it for me for the free. We want to bone you for a flat rate. You did it for him, you're going to do it for me. And I know a lot of ladies don't like to hear that. They don't like to hear that. They don't like to hear it. But it's true. Well, you can't hold a woman's past against her. Yes, we can. What the heck is wrong with you? Who do you think you're talking to here? We absolutely can hold your past against you. We can, and we will. You did it for him. You're going to do it for me. Oh man, ladies get livid when they hear that. Oh, I can't believe he said that. Yes, I did say that. We're not taking you out for your great personalities, ladies. I know that's harsh to hear, but it's the truth. We're taking you out because we are hoping that we get to see what kind of underwear you got on. Okay. Once that's out of the way, post-nut clarity has ensued, then we can have a conversation. Let me get my man Pablo up in here. Pablo, you're on the air, Obsidian Radio, where we are in open phones, open forum until our guest, MrShowTym from South Africa, arrives within open phone, open forum. Pablo, you're on the air, Obsidian Radio. Go right ahead.
How you doing, Obsidian? Am I coming through okay?
Doing great. Go right ahead.
All right. So yeah, man, you make a great point. There's a young lady goes by the name of Norberis. She's a Dominican lady. She's married to a Black American man, and they live in Dominican Republic. And she did a whole video about some of the passport bros coming over and complaining about the women asking for a little help, for a little money. Not the working girls, girls that they are in some type of relationships with. You know, saying, hey, can you help me with something? You know, help me with a little change, with a little something. You know, and the brothers was complaining and moaning and whining. She said, hey, y'all need to pick a struggle. And I'm gonna send you the link to it. It's called.
Yeah, I was about to say. You know, I want to say. I got to see this.
Her name is Norberis, and she said, hey, it's a part of. That's what it is here. She said, the women when they date, you want a traditional woman. You want a woman that is different than the women you left. She said, well, then this is what it is. She said, they're not just doing that to you because you're American. She said, that's what it is here. Any woman that's
let me just jump in here. In the Dominican Republic, the currency there is the peso, like Mexico. So they call it the Dominican peso. So one Dominican peso to exchange rate to United States dollar, 1 Dominican peso equals 18 cents.
Yeah, roundabout.
Hang on now. 1 Dominican peso equals 18 cents. So let's break this down, fellas. You're talking, we'll round it up, 20 cents. Round it up, give it an extra 2 pennies. So you're talking about you get 5 Dominican pesos to $1. 5. So when going back to you, Pablo, I just want to put that out for the listeners. So going back to you, these passport bros with their stingy ass complaining that the women that have agreed to be with them is asking them for a little change. I have to assume that it ain't a whole lot, given the fact that the Dominican peso is barely 1/5 of the American dollar.
Right. So now I can't speak to how much it is because I'm sure it varies from person to person, girl to girl.
Okay, well, just give me a number. Your wife is from the Dominican Republic. Just give me a number. What? Just give us a number. Just give us a number. In American dollars, what are we talking about? Just give me a number.
$50, $40.
You got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
These brothers are belly aching over 50 or 40 bucks.
Yeah. Well, my point was to what you were saying about the price discrimination. Well, one of the reasons brothers travel abroad is like we know what to expect. We know what to expect. See, I don't have a problem with, with the ladies asking for a little help. You tell me, okay, I got you, no problem. Now give me them yams.
Which I'm pretty sure these brothers definitely want the yams.
They want the yams now. Yeah. They want the yams. So, I don't have a problem. As long as the requirements are clear and upfront, I ain't got no problem with it. But what you are saying is, hey, these women, they got one price for man and 2 Pump Paul, and then they got another price for Derek.
That's right.
And I'm like, I want the same price he got.
Right.
See, in DR, I know what it is. It's the same. Everybody got to do what they got to do.
And
Everybody got to
everybody
do what they got to do.
understands that. Everybody understands that, and everybody agrees to those rules. I got no problem with that.
The Dominican brothers too. They know, hey, I got to go out and get what I got to get. And I can have the yams.
Right.
But they know the expectation. That's all.
Right.
Yeah.
And these brothers are pissed off. So he said, I think the old man's decimal point. Well, hold on a second. Let me make sure I got this right. Brandon says, I think the old man's decimal point is a little off. I see it as $1 equal 55 Dominican pesos. Let me check that. I want to make sure I got this right. Let me fact check that.
So 4,000 Dominican pesos is $100.
Right. Oh yeah. You know what? Brandon is correct. It's not even. You know what? This is really bad. It's not even 18 cents. It's not even that. It's less than 18 cents. I was wrong. So, wow. I want to see this video. I want to see this. Because if you giving a lady $50 American, she doing something.
I'm gonna email it to you. I'm gonna email you the link to Miss Norberris's video called "Pick a Struggle." Okay.
Yeah, I want. You know what? Hold on. You know what? I'll do one better. You said it's on YouTube, right? You said it's on YouTube right now?
Yes, it is. Her name is Norberris. I don't know how to spell it, but I'll get to it.
Norberris.
Norb.
Oh, I got it right here. Here we go. I'm looking at it right now. We're gonna look at this right now. I want to see this shit.
All right.
I want to see this. Norberris. So we're gonna play it right now. Stay right where you are, Pablo, because I want to help you with. I want you to help me with the running commentary. This right while we wait for our special guest, we're gonna play this right now. We ain't gonna mess around with this. We're gonna play it right now. Hold on a second. Let me put this up on the share screen so we can watch this together. Yes, sir. Okay. You guys let me know if you can hear this.
Gentlemen, today we're going to have to talk about pick a struggle. Like it or not, you got to pick a struggle. You got to pick a struggle.
Fair use. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna see if I can get her on the show. Fair use. Fair use.
I need for you to pick your struggle. Please pick your struggle. But before we get started, I just want to show you this nice cafe with a nice patio. And we are here just having a smoothie, an energy smoothie. Because after the week is ending, then you need energy. So we are here at this cafe in Santo Domingo, just sitting over here. And I decided that I want to make this video here. So let me show it to you.
Am I right to assume that that's her daughter, Pablo?
Yes. I think
right.
yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you said that she's married to a brother, and they both, the American brother, and they both reside in the Dominican Republic. Do I have that right?
That is correct.
Okay, very good. Let's continue. Fair use. Fair use.
So let's get started. Here is what I'm mostly hear from emails that I receive from a lot of my subscribers. So on one hand, I usually receive emails from guys that they be saying, okay, I'm looking for a girlfriend, I'm looking for a wife, because I am tired of the Western women because of their entitlement, the way that they behave, but most of all because they act like if they don't need a man. So on the other hand, I receive emails from guys that they go to those so-called third world country looking for a relationship, for a girlfriend, a spouse, or something different. But you hear when they say, I have a girlfriend, but she always asking for something. She always asking for support.
But wait a minute, but you always asking for the yams, brother. And fellas, let's be honest now. Come on now. You don't want no cold macro yams. You don't want no starfish yams. You want that guac yams. Am I wrong, Pablo? You want the yams.
You on it.
You want the come on now. You want the booty clapping. You want the syncopation. You want all the moisture and all the rest of it. But
And they want flat stomachs and big old round
all that. You want all of that, but she can't ask you for nothing though. Y'all taking it back to Erykah Badu with Tyrone, brother. Come on, man.
So right here is what I need for you to pick your struggle. And this is why. And before we get started, we are talking about in general, not your anecdote or experience, because there are always exceptions to the rules and not all the cases are the same. I think that we all understand that, right? So let's talk about specific of the United States. Yeah, that is because I live there and I understand some of the system and how things work over there. So I like to talk fine of the things that I know I understand. So in US, you have all these programs that benefit women. Let's say alimony, child support, housing assistance. You can get even assistance with your phone, food stamp, and Medicare. So you have all these programs that you can go and apply and get assistance. If let's say you lose your job, if what you make is not for you to support your family, if you need medication, you can just apply there and you will go to the doctor. You have all these programs. They can just be right in your household if you need to. So
where's the lie? Where is the lie that this Dominicana is saying? Where's the lie? Where's the lie of Sonora? Where's she lying at? She's saying the same thing we've been saying in the Black Manosphere for years. The welfare state. All she did is just outline the welfare state. Where's the lie? Here in the United States, a woman, and we're talking about black women here, so we just go there. Here in the United States, black women don't, I mean, when they say they're strong and independent, don't need no man, there's a lot of truth to that. She just listed it. No black woman here can go out on the street. We all know black women are the most evicted group of women on the street. You think Uncle Sam was going to be okay with millions of black women out on the street? Nope, they're going to put them up somewhere. So what is she saying as lying here? She's telling the truth. Let's continue. Fair use.
That being said, if you are a female, they have all these benefits in your household. With all that, you really don't need the support of a man.
I just want to read this to the audience because I know that there are brothers out there mobilizing. By the way, $ Obsidian Radio, $ Obsidian Radio. Let's make that cash app ring. She says here, Miss Noberis says, quote, I want to be clear. I believe in having a man is more than just financial support, but we are only discussing the financial aspect in this video. That's what she says in her own words. Let's continue. Fair use.
No saying that
you know what? Before we get back to Noberis, you know what, Pablo?
Uh-huh.
I got absolutely no problem with a woman relying on her man financially. I got zero problem with that. None.
I got no problem with it either, Obsidian. But, you know, the guys who are successful being passport bros, doing the international thing, we kind of understand this. What we want, what we desire is some level of certainty or understanding, right? Because in the U.S., it's like it's a trick bag. You don't know, you don't know what the damn requirements are. I mean, it could be anything.
Yeah.
So there we get a much more simplified version of what we need to do. Men need some type of certainty, some type of reciprocity, so to speak. Like you said, fair exchange is no robbery.
You got that right.
But when you don't know, when you don't know what the requirements are, or they change every day, or they change from, you know, whim to whim, it becomes confusing and frustrating, and guys just tap out. They just say, well, to hell with it.
Now, give me an example of what you mean by the requirements keep changing, so that we're all on the same page. What do you mean by saying the requirements keep changing?
So, like last night, I was watching the Peef Network, and this girl asked Anton Well, did you pay for your wife? Did you buy your wife or something like that? And then he kind of flipped it on her and he said, you want to be bought too.
I was thinking as you was relaying the story, I don't know Anton personally, of course, but I have seen him and I have personally interacted with him on YouTube. I'm thinking, duh, of course he bought his. Huh? What kind of question is that?
So then he asked her, he said, well, what is your number one requirement for a man? And she said, number one was on the list, provider.
Okay.
But then she tried to argue, oh, that wasn't being bought. The hell it ain't. Provision means money.
Mm-hmm.
So they try to do this kabuki dance where they pretend it ain't really about the money, but depending on who the guy is, it might not be money. It might just be,
a sexual thing or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
But I reserve the right to ask for the money.
Right.
Whereas abroad, we just kind of get a flat rate. We know what it is.
Right.
The requirements are more upfront. It's more it's more easy to navigate.
Gotcha. And you're saying the issue as it relates to Miss Noberis in this video is that the brothers, the passport brothers of the type we're talking about here, they seem to have a problem with that flat rate.
They're reverting back to the culture from whence they came. They want to get it. They want to get it on the mouthpiece.
Oh, jeez. You can't make this shit up. Let's continue.
They want to get it on the mouthpiece.
All right, let's continue. Fair use. Fair use.
I mean, just because you receive all that. But if the female choose to, if that's what she wants, she don't need a man because she have all the support that can support her financially.
That's correct.
In their household.
That's true.
So, having said that, in the other hand, let's say in the third world countries with women, and specifically talking about Dominican Republic because I'm Dominican, I live here. I understand also the how everything works here. Here, you don't have none of those kind of programs. Zero. Let me mention one more thing that I just forgot to mention. Also, you're talking about jobs opportunity. In the US, job opportunity and better pay that you have that there too. Or here, in the other hand, you don't have none of the support. You don't have nothing close to. Well, you can get some child support if you want to. You can it depends they have the money that, but who you can get child support here from. Guys that have their professional, they have money, military, but here you don't can get child support for regular guy. So the system is not like the US, but you don't receive alimony, you don't have the so-called Medicare, you don't have food assistance, you don't have housing assistance, you don't have no phone assistance, you don't have none of the other assistance. Here to the government, you can get probably some type of a medical assistance, but not everybody can qualify for that. You don't have that system like it is in the United States. So because you don't have all those kind of programs over here, it's so expected from a female to need some kind of support.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always expected that in some point in the relationship, if you are starting to meet a woman or you are in a relationship, in some point in the relationship, they're going to mention and they're going to let you know that they need a support if they need the support.
Mm-hmm.
And also,
so in other words, they're gonna hit you up at some point. You in a relationship with a lady like this over there in Dominican Republic. Sooner or later, she gonna be hitting you up for something.
Yeah, I need some money on the light bill. Can you help me?
Whatever.
I need some. Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to pay my cell phone. I need to help me pay my cell phone. Yeah. Right. I mean, you getting the yams? If you getting the yams, go ahead, break off.
Yeah, exactly. I don't see what the problem.
I have a problem with it.
Yeah, let's continue. Fair use.
But they do. They complain.
Yeah, I want to hear. Yeah, I want to hear this. Let's hear this. Fair use. Fair use.
Also, you have to understand in our culture. I don't know any other Latin community or anything like that, but in the Dominican culture, it's always expected that female always, it's just not for foreigner. That is our culture. Even if you have a Dominican boyfriend, most of the time you expect the main support.
So again, the flat rate piece. They're not doing this just to the American, or in this case, Black Americans. So we're gonna come over here. We're gonna juice these guys. We're gonna finesse them. No, they do that with the Dominican brothers too.
Everybody got to give up the pesos. I'm gonna need some pesos.
Right.
If you're gonna keep hitting this. I'm gonna need something on the cell phone.
Right. I don't see what the problem is with that. Let's continue. Fair use.
Husband, you always pay their support, financial. So, and let me be clear, I'm not talking about somebody that you just made. I'm not talking about a chappy. I'm talking about for people that are in a serious relationship and that you found somebody that you call girlfriend, although you want that person to be your wife. That is just regular relationship. In some point in the relationship, depending on her financial situation, in some point you should expect or hear that they're gonna need some type of support if they can do it on their own. Because sometimes people get confused. Let's say you hear the word chappies so much, and we all know about the chappies, but chappies, they're gonna ask you for something.
Could you pause it for a second?
Yeah, I was about to say, what's a chappies?
A chappie. Chappie means chappie your daughter, a working girl, an escort, a lady that accepts to do something strange for a piece of change. She's not talking about them. She ain't talking about them, because with them is it's cash and carry. You pay, you go. That's it. No, she's talking about people who are building relationships, and they're going out and they're hanging out and they going on trips and doing whatever it is that they do. And eventually old girl says, hey, Poppy, can you help me with the cell phone bill? And Poppy like, what you want? She asking me for money? See, yeah, that.
Okay, gotcha. All right, let's continue. Fair use.
They are trying to get anything that they can out of you right at that moment, just in case they don't see you anymore. But if you are in a relationship, you have a couple months, let's say you have a few months and you have a year, if somebody asking for support, don't think that they are a chappy just because they asking for money or they telling you their problem. It's just because that's the way basically our culture is. If we need a support, we're gonna talk to. We expect our partner, our husband, our boyfriend to support us if we need the support. So that should be expected. And that's why I wanted you to clarify that part. That way you don't get confused. Because I know some guys, they are probably confused because they are in a relationship with somebody that is not that long, just a couple months in, and they immediately hear, I need this. And then you started thinking, is he shopping? No, sometimes that is not the case. And I also hear guys that say, I have a relationship with somebody. I have been with her for 7 months, and she haven't asked me for anything. And they say, you immediately say, okay, that's good. I think it's a good sign because she is with you because of you. But also, don't think that she's a bad person, or just don't think that she's a chappy just because at some point in the future she mentioned to you that she needs your support. It's just something normal. So here is what I need for you to pick your struggle. Because you complain about both situations. You complain about the women that don't need you, but then you also complain about the women that need you. And it's like you are in the totally opposite extreme.
All right, so for those listening and not looking at the video, Miss Noberas puts up another screen here. I'm going to read it. Quote, you leave one extreme, high access, to go to the opposite end of the spectrum, very little access, but expecting a middle ground. Understandable, but doesn't make much sense. Let's continue. Fair use.
So you come from this so-called rich country, or where people have all this access. You come to the other extreme, where people is so-called poor country, with people that have not that much access. So you want to find somebody that is in between, like have a little bit of both. Here, not say that you will not find that here, because it is women here that you are able to find that, but that is not the majority. That is not the normal here. The majority is the women that need a support. And that's why you will hear that very often. So this video is not going to be that long. I just come over here to say that because in both, I hear both sides of the story. I want you to pick a struggle. Yeah, that I want you to pick a struggle, and then keep those things in mind the next time that you are talking to a female, the reason why they do what they do, and decide they just don't know that music. I heard. I know that you hit it in the middle of the video. I guess that they want me to leave. I was not gonna be here for too long anyway, but it's time to go. Bye.
Gotcha. All right. So I don't know if she does these talking about these particular issues, as say passport brother issues on a regular basis, or she just deals with more broader Dominican
Not really.
Republic issues.
Yeah, not really. She pretty much deals with the Dominican Republic issues, real estate at DR, things for what you would call an expat.
Gotcha.
Right.
All
People
right,
who are trying to relocate to DR. But she does touch on it from time to time because guess what? She's married to a Black American man. People are always coming on her channel saying, "Oh, I want to meet a girl," and this and that, and she's, yeah.
Gotcha. She writes here under the caption, the name of the video, guys, is "Pick a Struggle If You Date in the Dominican Republic." It came out November 13th, almost a month ago. It's got upwards of 30,000 views. She says, guys, pick a struggle. I get several messages from men on the one hand complaining about women in their home country and that act as if they don't need a man. And then on the other hand, complaining about the women in the Dominican Republic that do need them. I am not talking about choppies, streetwalkers, etc. I'm talking about regular Dominican women who are looking for a serious relationship. When dating in the Dominican Republic, you will most likely come across women who will most likely need your support. This doesn't make her a bad person or a choppy. Just keep this in mind. Enjoy. So that's the video. We want to thank our good friend and good brother here, Pablo Fresco Bar, for putting this, bringing this to our attention. And
yeah, I thought it was relevant because what you were saying about ladies here in the U.S. they move the bar a lot, right? And so what happens is guys become confused because they don't know what they need to do, because it could be anything. Why? Because they have so much access. Like she said, they have so much access to everything. It could be money. It could be a cute smile and some game. It could be a dude with a shiny Gucci belt buckle. You don't know what it is.
Right. Yeah.
There it is. It's pretty much straightforward what you need to do.
Right.
And the dudes still got a problem with that.
And they got a problem with that, even though the Dominican peso, you get like 55 pesos to the American dollar.
Right. But a lot of the guys are having, some of the guys are having problems with it because they're still operating in an American cultural mindset.
Wow. You can't make this stuff up. My special guest has joined us, ladies and gentlemen. MrShowTym, all the way from South Africa. What's going on, man?
Hi, Obsidian. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you just fine. Everything's good. How you doing?
Thank you so much for having me. My name is Mbuso Mhlongo. My alias name on YouTube is MrShowTym. And I noticed you misspelled my name on the thumbnail. There's no E. It's just MrShowTym without the E. But
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's neither here nor there. Great video topic. You guys are talking about the passport bros and brothers going over to overseas to find suitable, submissive women, and I totally understand. It's only an issue when Black men do it, but the truth of the matter is, men in general, ever since World War I and World War II, have been going overseas to Thailand and Vietnam to go get women of other foreign women. And why is it an issue when Black men start to do it? I see O'Shea Duke Jackson do videos highlighting this. Shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson, and yeah, he makes a very good breakdown of there's a need for a way out, because it's not working in our Western hemispheres, our westernized countries, such as the United States, South Africa, England, Australia. South Africa is a westernized first world country too. Just disclaimer.
It is.
In case you know. I know you guys, I know you guys tend to say, "Oh no, Africa." Well, South Africa is an exception. It's a first world country. Google it, look it up. As I'm communicating with you, I'm not using voodoo magic, right? So, great video topic. That's my opening line.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this, Showtime. You on the air with me and Pablo. Let me ask you this. So, how did you come by the Manosphere, the Black Manosphere? How did that happen? What a young fine strapping young man like yourself wind up in a place like this? How did that happen?
Well, to be honest, I started watching YouTube in my first year of university in 2016. I started watching people like Mr. Lucario, Steve the Dean Williams, O'Shea Duke Jackson, the old Brother Pill podcast. That was the best panel I've ever seen in my lifetime, and that was the good old days, And so that's when I started to get a hang of all you guys, Donovan Sharp, who else? I mentioned Steve the Dean, Mr. Lucario, and from there on, I started by association and through channel recommendation. I started listening to you guys. I started get Red Pill aware, right? And I've been listening to you guys ever since. Yeah.
Okay, so with all this going on, you said that white men have been doing what the Passport brothers are getting a lot of grief with right now, but white men have been doing it forever. Why do you think so many black men are getting such a hard way to go about the Passport situation?
Well, there's a particular content creator that mentioned this. It's called, there's a concept called slave plantation politics. Plantation politics, as a black man, also LRR movement mentioned this too. As a black man, every other group of people can do whatever, but it's only an issue when black men do it, which is kind of unfair, right? And this is why I'm grateful for the Red Pill Manosphere space, the Red Pill Manosphere space, and we're exposing a lot of these hypocrisies that are going on. Black men should have the option to exercise their options, right? If it's not working in the black community, we should go elsewhere where we will get women who are submissive and cooperative. Shout out to Kevin Samuels, FBI, feminine, beautiful, inspirational. Right? Yeah.
Wow. This is something. Let me ask you this: you're all the way in South Africa. Are the issues? Yeah. Everybody knows the situation between black men and black women here in the United States. On Wednesday, I had Miss Jessica X. She's from London, and we've been told that a similar situation is going on over there between black men and black women in the UK. Let me ask you, what is the situation between black men and black women in your home country in South Africa? Is it similar to what's going on here in the United States or different?
It's the exact same, Obsidian. It's the exact same. It's the exact same. Trust me when I tell you this. It's the exact same. I've been hearing brothers complaining about black women's attitudes. It's the exact same issue here in South Africa. It's because, when you live in a first world westernized country, we sort of become spoiled. Hashtag first world problems, right? So yeah, it's the exact same. I've watched Jessica X. I'm not really subscribed to her, but I've seen videos of you doing collaborations with her, and yeah, it's the exact same. Oh, also King Riches. Do you know King Riches?
King Riches over in UK. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, King Riches over in UK. Now he's working with Just Pearly Things. I know him well.
Yeah, and Sarah Garvey. Yeah, I know a lot of these content creators. I sympathize with them. It's the exact same. Yeah, that's that exact same issues that are going on. Yeah.
Wow. Damn. The exact same. Did you hear this, Pablo? The exact same.
I did. I'm not surprised with South Africa because for so long I guess they were ruled by the Dutch, colonized by the Dutch, and so they're very westernized country, probably one of the most westernized country on the continent of Africa.
Wow. So you're telling me, Mr. Showtime, you got a lot of black women over there that are black feminists and that sort of thing?
Oh, absolutely. You know, we also go through this whole thing of you know, the black single mothers and, you know, the oppression of the black male, where, you know, the black men are simps. You know, it's like, oh, you know, I gotta buy a house for my mama. But when you ask them, okay, what about your dad? They're like, man, I'll just simply buy my watch. I'm like, that's not fair, is it? Right? So yeah, black men are simps out here, and the whole interracial thing is the exact same. When a black man dates a white woman, you know, I've been involved with, you know, in an interracial relationship, and on my Instagram, you know, I didn't get as many likes, but when I take photos with sisters, I get more likes. So yeah, hope that gives you an insight.
Wow, this is deep. This is deep. Now go ahead, Pablo. Go ahead.
Obsidian, I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
When you started, you, Angry Man, O'Shea, years ago, a decade ago, did you ever imagine that these same issues, this same ideas would make it all the way to South Africa, and you would be doing a live stream talking about these? Did you imagine that?
No, I didn't, brother. I had no. When I got first started here on YouTube, I was just happy, just getting the word out. I was just happy just to be doing that. I had no idea this sort of thing was going on. No idea whatsoever. None. I had no idea that we would go global. I had no idea that we would be going global. I had no idea. None. No idea whatsoever. This is like real. Talking to a brother from South Africa in real time, and that he's saying, yes. Let me get my echo box.
Black female fuckery is here in South Africa.
Who knew? Who knew? So y'all got the same issues with black women down there. The attitude issues, the weight issue. Is the weight issue an issue down there in South Africa as well?
Yes, the average black female is fat, obese, and overweight, and she has a stank attitude. If you go to, you guys call it Walmart, we have Pick and Pay, right? At the cashier, you know, she's busy scanning your items, and she's like, plastic, giving you the attitude. But a white man behind you, now it's the white man's turn. She's like, oh yes, Mr. White Man, what can I do for you today?
Wow. Oh man,
stuff like that.
Oh,
it's shocking. It's embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing.
Wow, you can't make this stuff up. You can't make it. So you can't say that it's because over here in the United States, the argument often is given, well, you know, it's due to slavery, and so there was no slavery. Now, to be fair, South Africa did have a long racial history. You know, black people were treated unfairly and stuff like that, but they weren't slaves. There's a lot of black women here try to say that because of slavery, even though none of these black women have ever been slaves themselves, but nevertheless, because of slavery, this is the reason why black women act this way. What's the excuse over there? There has never been any slavery. Over here, there are black women who will blame racism, Donald Trump, and white women for the reason why they're fat and obese. Now, what's the reason why they're fat and obese over there? It's the same thing, racism and all the rest of it. Pick Botha is his fault. I mean, what's going on here?
It's the same complaints. You know, when you guys talk about how black women always victim blame, oh, it's Becky with the good hair. It's the same thing here, because although we in South Africa we weren't enslaved, remember we had apartheid, which is kind of similar to, you know, to your Jim Crow, right? So it's trauma passed down from generation to generation, if you know what I mean. It's mental, psychological trauma passed down from generation to generation, basically. So yeah, it's the same thing. Obsidian, it's the same thing.
Yeah. Wow. This is Pablo. Matter of fact, you know what? I hope you don't mind us taking some calls, Mr. Showtime. Let me open up the floor for calls. I don't even know what to say. Fellas, if you want to call in and interact with our special guest, Mr. Showtime, all the way out in South Africa, he is saying that the same issues we're dealing with here in the United States with the American black woman, they're dealing with the South African black woman over there in South Africa today. Okay, so if you want to call in, the link is in the chat room. We're right here. Pablo, your thoughts on all this? This is mind blowing.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. Like I said, South Africa has a reputation of being the most westernized country on the African continent. Because they had the regime of apartheid and the colonization by the Dutch and so forth.
And the British. It's the Dutch and too. Yeah.
Both. Wow. They got the double lane. Yeah.
Yeah. So we speak a form of Dutch. It's called Afrikaans, right?
Afrikaans.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So in other words, dis 'n lekker dag vandag. My naam is Muso en ek is gelukkig om hier te wees op Obsidian so live stream. That's a form of Dutch.
Wow. Okay. Let me bring my man Kevin. Kevin C calls, and he's from Honduras, if I'm not mistaken. Kevin, go right on ahead. You're on the air. Obsidian Radio with me, Mr. Showtime, our special guest all the way from South Africa, and Pablo Frescobar. Go right ahead. I know you got something to say about this. This is mind blowing. Go right ahead.
Yeah. Hello. First of all, hello to you, Obsidian, as the host, and to Mr. Pablo, and then of course the gentleman from South Africa. Hey, South Africa, that's actually on our list of things to do. We want to get there one day, so it's actually nice to interact with you. I know we're meeting on live stream, but it's very nice to meet you and interact with you. I have been listening to what you were talking about, though, sir, and Mr. Showtime. And if you had to put a percentage on it as it relates to the issues that you're talking about, as it relates to the women, because generally black men are want to interact, marry, have interpersonal relationship with black women. If you had to put a percentage on it, what percent of women are you talking about as it relates to the problems that you're having?
Are you talking here in South Africa?
Yeah. In general, or in and around like the major cities and stuff like that. I know there's probably a little bit of less issues as you go further out into the rural areas. That's kind of things I notice when I travel. But when you're in these bigger cities, there's probably more issues. So if you had to put a percentage on it, what percentage of women are you talking about that might be problematic?
Well, I live in Newcastle, KwaZulu-Natal. It's a state called KZN, KwaZulu-Natal, right? I'm Zulu, right? So I'm here in a small town, so it's a very conservative, mostly predominantly white type of environment, urban environment. So people here are very conservative and very traditional. Now, if you go to Johannesburg, the major cities like Johannesburg, Durban, and Cape Town, things sort of get like, just like New York, things sort of like get like liberal, if you know what I mean. It tends to get a little, liberal, right? So the percentage of women I'm talking about as relates to black women, it's I'll say about 80%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
80% of yeah.
But you are noting that there's a difference between you're noting there's a difference between the metropolitan, more built up city areas concentrated with the density and population versus the rural areas where there's probably more conservative where you're talking about.
Oh yeah. We do have like rural areas. The women there are very, at face value, they are submissive and cooperative and traditional. Okay, yeah, more traditional. However, it'll be kind of like it's a trick, because today, as feminism arises, that's starting to fade away, even with the traditional and more conservative type of black females. With the rise of feminism, you're starting to hear them talk about female empowerment narratives thanks to social media and the whole wokeist SJW movement. So it's getting worse. regardless of where you are.
Okay. Now let me ask you this though, sir. So, Mr. Showtime, when you talk about because female empowerment and feminism and all this other stuff, are they still trying to stay connected to the men, or kind of getting away from the men? Because that's probably where the issue.
You see, in South Africa, our black mothers told their black daughters to, go to university and get a college degree because these men out here, they're dusty, they ain't shit. Yeah. Most women out today, they're choosing their college degrees over having, settling down and having a family. So the marriage rates here have declined from 80% to 15%, right? Because women are chasing their college degrees and careers and they're neglecting having men, especially black men. Now, let me tell you this. In my high school that I went to, white women, they are getting married at like 50%, right? Even though marriage rates are declining everywhere with all other groups of people, I still see married white women getting married here and there. They're posting on their Instagram, they're posting on their socials, on their Facebook. Oh, look at me, I'm engaged. But not one, there's only one black woman that I went to high school with she's engaged. She's not married, but she's at least engaged. All the other black females I went to high school with have never sniffed an engagement ring.
Are they trying to? Are they trying to do this thing where they, focus on education first, start a career, and then get married later? Or is that even part of the equation?
Yeah, they're basically grifting. They have no direction. They rather choose the college degrees and more than the single mothers. They're basically choosing to be single mothers.
Yeah. So how are you guys? How are you gentlemen responding to that though? Because just to kind of give you some perspective, basically, and I kind of tell people this. We're not trying to run around correcting women or telling them what to do and trying to fix all of these problems. It's like, look, we're just going to disengage. We're not gonna marry you. We're not gonna, become stepdads. We're not gonna, and this is when I talk to you. I'm an older guy. I'm already married. And, I live in another country and everything else. I was married, divorced. Just a little quick background. I was married, produced children, got divorced, unfortunately. But, later on, then I got remarried. And now I live overseas. But the thing is that we're trying to stay away from those women who already show up with kids, who are already overweight, who are already having issues and problems, and then, or wait too late to actually even start looking for a husband. What are you guys doing to, as it relates to or responding to those situations?
Good question. I'm actually the one and only red pill Manosphere content creator here in South Africa. I'm actually the only one here. So most people are just accepting this as, as their reality. They're just letting the wind blow letting the wind blows where the wind takes them. So the men here aren't responding, and they don't have the proper articulation and technique to actually put this out there as well as I have. I'm not trying to boast, but I'm the only one doing this whole manosphere thingy. So a lot of black men here have basically accepted defeat with regards to black women, how black women are, attitudes, and I don't see anyone doing anything. And I'm actually the only one here in South Africa calling this out, as with my YouTube channel here. So yeah, someone has to arise to the occasion and actually call this out. And I'm grateful for Obsidian for having me and to validate the fact that the manosphere is global, right? So yeah.
Yeah, well, hey, thanks for answering those questions. I always wondered about that. I mean, and I always want to hear from somebody who's living there, who understands the dynamics of the population, who's grown up there, who has the life experience. And like I said, again, it's, South Africa is actually on my list of things to and places to visit. With my wife, and as we got one last kid to get out of the house. She's just now getting ready to start college. So in a few years, she graduates, and we'll be free and clear, so we can kind of move around a lot more freely. But that's actually on the list. And actually, I got turned on to South Africa because of the World Cup, what you guys were able to do. And that's when you guys came. That's what the World Cup does. It kind of brings all these countries to prominence. And you're like, oh, I need to go there. I need to go here. I need to go there. So you guys definitely are on the list. But I mean, there's a lot of rich history culture, languages, just good things that you see, but understanding that there's some issues and problems, and that some of the stuff that we're dealing with as men, black men in particular, is universal. So it's good that you're trying to bring a light to it and just inform the men as to how they can kind of navigate the situation. But yeah, thanks for your commentary.
No problem. Kevin. Go right ahead.
I did have a question. So I wanted to add something to what you were talking about, to the dating situation, to the video that you brought up.
Yeah.
So I can kind of understand why men would push back as it relates to going overseas and then women asking for something. But here's the deal: when you start to get into a serious relationship, and this is how it works, whether you're overseas or in the United States, then you want to start doing nice things for the woman that you're actually serious about. Because it took a long time for my wife and I to actually get, the only reason we didn't get married in like 2 years or less is that this was a accumulation of visits. So we went, about 5-6 years before we actually started talking about marriage. And then, but during that time, I saw there were things that she needed and she didn't ask for it. She was like, there were things that she was doing. I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and square your way here. Let me go ahead and square your way there. You see what I'm saying? I just kind of helped her out here and there. She never really asked. She never said, hey, do this, do that. And it wasn't you need to take care of my family. You need to help my mother out here. You need to help my brother out here, or do this or do that. It was more like, hey, I just kind of saw a need. And because I'm really serious about this woman, we developed a relationship, talking online with the emails. And then it went to, WhatsApp. And then it went to all the FaceTime. And what's the other one that hardly anybody uses? The Skype, stuff like that. So you learn more and more about the person. So there's really no issue and problem with that. And her and I got very serious. Now we're at the point of marriage, and it's kind of interesting because I actually kind of joked with her. I said, you really only love me because I give you the sex, the money, and what's the other thing? Something else. Sex, money, personality, something like that. And and she was kind of taken aback by that. And I was kind of joking, but I would say, hey, look, understand that when we're married, I'm supposed to be doing all of those things for you. I'm supposed to be providing, producing, looking out for you, making sure you're safe. I'm supposed to be doing all those things and helping you out. And if you want, or actually, if you need something, let me know so that way I can make sure it happens. Everything as far as the house, the vehicles that I purchased, going on trips, buying her nice clothes, buying her gifts. And I explained to her, I said, the reason I do all of those things is because you do so much for me. It's a mutually beneficial and reciprocal relationship. And that's what guys have to think about when you're, getting serious about these women. You're going to find one that you're really interested in. And then you start looking at what she's giving you and then what you're willing to give her. And then,
but check this out.
Or receiving something from the relationship. Go ahead.
Check this out though. See, you said something that's very critical. You said she didn't ask. I listened and I heard and recognized a need. She didn't have to ask because you offered. What you got to remember is a lot of these dudes aren't perceptive like that. So the girl will mention something or tell them something that's going on in their life, and the dude will be like, oh, okay, I'm sorry to hear that. Roll over. You see what I mean?
Well, that kind of points to how serious they are or are not about that woman. And again, and understand, for like I said, that kind of developed over like the first few years. And then, I just kind of listened, paid attention. And obviously we got closer and closer. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me go ahead and take care of that. No, let me handle that for you. Let me go ahead and do this and do that. And now, obviously, because we're married, it's nothing. I kind of this running thing that I do with my wife. I'm like, look, first of all, make sure let me know what you need. Now I already know that she has everything that she needs. Now I get down to what do you want? Where do you want to go? Is there a trip you're interested in? Is there something you want to do? Is there an adventure that you'd like to, experience, or something that, that I hadn't thought of just yet? And I try to cover the bases. I try to, work the magic and just try to keep the interest and all the other stuff. But yeah, you're right. I don't know. I guess it's kind of a timing thing.
Can I answer that?
Like,
go ahead, Mr. Showtime. He wants to jump in on that. Go ahead, and then we'll go to American Vice. Go right ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so the thing is, as a man, it's not happy wife, happy life. As a man, it's actually the opposite.
we're experiencing some technical difficulty over in South Africa because we're transmitting live over there. Mr. Showtime, you're back. Go right ahead.
Yeah. So it's not happy wife, happy life. No, no, no. It's satisfied husband, secure life. Right. So I heard you mentioned you more concerned about what your wife wants. No, no, no. You shouldn't be concerned about that. As a man, you should be on your purpose, and if she sees that you are winning and you are satisfied, by proxy, she wins as well. Right now,
No. Let me go ahead and clear it up. I said I
know
always
most
take care
men
of what
have.
she needs. I always take care of what she needs, and then I get into, okay, now what would you like? Is there something that you want? Is there something that I haven't covered just yet? But I mean, everything that she needs and the stuff that we do, it's all covered. Yeah. So yeah, you might have missed that, in the translation. That's fine.
Yeah, it's good that you handle what she needs, but it doesn't matter what she wants. It's all about what you want, because you're the man, you're the one with the power, and as long as you're taking care of the basic needs, she will come clean, she will come right, so long as you, the man, are happy. Just that's all I want to say.
That's a good point. You're right. That's a good point. That's a good point. I guess let me elaborate on that. Every now and then I'll be like, hey, look, is there something you'd like to do? Is there something you want? And I try to do that for my wife periodically, because I see what she does for me and what she does for the family. So I try to hook her up. That's really all it is. But yeah, you're right. I would agree with you on that. It's, hey, look, I gotta. But the funny thing is, like, she absolutely understands that. Look, there's always going to be standards, requirements, tasks, conditions. Hey, look, this is what you already got to do to keep me around and to keep, the things that you're getting from me. And then as long as we're both getting what it is we want, then it's going to be a good thing. But yeah, I would agree with you on that. I would agree with you on that. But good points. Good points.
Let me jump in. Then we're going to get American Rifleman. But Mr. Showtime, there's a lady from your home country, Fumi BCW. Fumi BCW says, listening in as a South African woman, I have to agree with some of the points that he raised. I don't know if you know this lady, but she's been tuning in, and she actually agrees with some of the things that you said.
It's true. The red pill is inevitable. Yeah.
All right, let me get my man Rifleman. Rifleman, you got to unmute your mic. Go right ahead. You're on the air with my special guest, Mr. Showtime, all the way from South Africa. Go right ahead.
Thank you for having me on again, Obsidian. Obviously, loving your work. Big fan. Mr. Showtime, from America to Africa, man. You just putting it down here. I'm just loving to see these international young black men just doing it. So I'm relatively new to your content, but everything I'm seeing so far, I'm loving it. So keep doing what you're doing, brother. I have a couple of questions. I'm fucking 40 years old and I'm still learning and trying to improve myself. But I do have a question. Obviously, we want our black men to be judicious with their dollar, dealing with women overseas. And this old adage kind of sticks in my mind, where I've heard several men say this over the years, where they say, don't give her any more than she's used to. Is this like mean advice, or is this just, or can you give me some clarity on what you think about that?
Can I take this one?
Yeah, go ahead, Pablo. Go ahead.
So,
yeah. So first of all, sorry.
Let me have.
Hang on. Let Pablo respond first, and then we'll go to our special guest, Mr. Showtime. Go ahead, Pablo.
So, as Obsidian was talking about a second ago about the exchange rate, right? So, the average, let's just take Dominican Republic for a second. What the average Dominican person might earn in a year is very low, right? So if you go in and you drop, I don't know, $300, $400, $500 on a woman who has never really seen that kind of money, you're going to create a situation. You're going to create a situation for yourself where the person's expectations are going to rise to such a level so quickly that they're no longer going to see you. They're no longer going to see you. They're only going to see the money. So what you want to be is a help, not a shock to the system. You ever see about lottery winners? The person is working at, the person's working in a plant somewhere in some rural town, and then all of a sudden they hit the lottery for, I don't know, $300 million, and in a few years they're broke. Well, that's because they did not have the financial literacy or whatever to understand the wealth that they were receiving. And so as you grow in a relationship with a woman in a foreign country, you have to ease them into a lifestyle that you enjoy. You understand what I'm saying? And I think one of my the other guests that was here that's in Honduras, he kind of spoke to that in a roundabout way about how what he did for his fiance grew as the relationship grew. You can't jump out of the gate trying to be a savior.
That sounds good. What do you say, Mr. Showtime?
Thank you. I've been waiting to jump in. So listen, a lot of guys have been saying, don't lead with your wallets. Well, the truth is, when women get into a relationship with a man, when she selects a man to be in a relationship with, her eyes change into dollar signs like cha-ching, right? Especially if you come from a first world country like America, going overseas to, the Dominican Republic, Brazil, Argentina, some of the Northern African countries. Women see dollar signs when they deal with you. So yes, unfortunately, you're gonna have to lead with your wallet. Now the problem is, a lot of black men, they don't have financial literacy. That's where they fall by the wayside. Having financial literacy will help you, sustain yourself dealing with women overseas. So yes, you have to lead with your wallet because you have no other choice. That's why she's getting with you in the first place. That's why any woman gets with you in a relationship in the first place. Financial security comes first. I know some of the guys, they want to talk about, oh no, that's tricking. Well, everything you do involves money. If you go on a date, you buy some cologne, that's money, you paid. You purchase some food, paying for food, you're paying. You're taking her to a concert, you're paying. So either way, even when you have sex, you're paying. Everywhere you're paying. So this whole tricking concept is invalid, really. I understand why guys say it, but understand the reality. When you're dealing with women, you are going to be paying financially. So with brothers going overseas, you must educate yourself on financial literacy so as to not lose yourself out there. And then when brothers lose, we have O'Shea, Duke Jackson saying like, you see these passport bros, stuff like that. Shout out to O'Shea, Duke Jackson. But yeah, that's my take. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm actually jump off Obsidian. You got other people hopping on. I'm gonna hit you on the Cash App after this, and also I just say to the brothers, give Africa a chance first. Try to find a sister first. I know y'all got y'all preferences, but if you can help it, try to go to Africa first, and then go everywhere else. But that's my take. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, brother. Eric, you're on the air. Obsidian Radio with my special guest, Mr. Showtime, all the way from South Africa. Go right ahead. Eric, can you hear me? You got to unmute. Let me see if I can unmute his mic. Eric, you got to unmute your mic. Eric, can you hear me? Okay, he's not there. We are live on the air with Mr. Showtime from South Africa. If you want to join the conversation with us, the link is in the chat room. How you doing over there, Mr. Showtime? Is everything all right?
Everything is fine, Obsidian. Everything is hanky Prooster.
Would you recommend, brothers, because O'Shea Duke Jackson has his dating show. I don't know if you've seen it, the Pan-African dating show. He's over in Uganda and Kenya. He's going to be shooting in Rwanda. Would you recommend him do shooting in your country?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, in 2017, O'Shea Duke Jackson was here in South Africa, in Sandton, shooting at one of our Sandton hotels, 5-star luxury hotels. So yeah, O'Shea Duke Jackson has been here, and I recommend him come over again, and maybe him and I can collaborate and do some shootings, and it'll be fun. And yeah, it'll give a more perspective, because South Africa is a little bit different than the rest of the African countries. South Africa, again, it's first world. We got multi-ethnic groups here. We got Indians, we got Asians, we got white folks, we got black folks, we got I recommend.
Hey, very interesting. Let me get Diz. Diz, you're on the air. Obsidian Radio. Go right ahead.
Yeah, how y'all doing, fellas?
Doing great, man. Go right ahead.
Yeah, MrShowTym, let's have a question for you. You said that in Africa, it's the same problem going on that America has going on. So I wanted to know, like, where do you think they learned this behavior from?
From mainstream media brainwashing. Especially now, social media has made dating that much harder, right? So we got shows like The View. We have shows like on E! Entertainment. We watch some of your shows, and yeah, it's all influence. Influence and brainwashing, feminism, brainwashing, basically. Yeah, mainstream media brainwashing.
Wow. So what do you think is the solution for that?
The solution for that is it's not one-sided. It's not a one-sided answer. It's kind of hard because it's getting worse. Like I said, with the rise of feminism and conservative voices being silenced, and it's kind of tough to say. But we're just gonna have to trust the Manosphere will continue to breed more red pill Manosphere content creators who are on some real stuff, and we'll see as time goes by. We'll see.
Obsidian, thank you.
No problem, man. Let me get Eric. Eric, you're on the air. Obsidian Radio. Go right ahead. Eric, you got to unmute your mic. Oh boy, he still got problems. Eric, you still got problems with your mic, brother. You're gonna have to do something with your mic. Because you can't unmute your mic for some reason. You're on the air with Obsidian Radio, and our special guest is MrShowTym, and he's all the way from South Africa, telling us that things are just like they are here over there. And that raises an interesting question, because if BFF is the same over there in Africa as it is here, then the question becomes, why bother going overseas?
Because it's levels. It's levels.
Please,
man, can you hear me now? Oh man, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can't hear you. Right, just stand by,
so,
Eric.
Look, okay.
Right ahead.
So, Passport Bros never said there were not feminists abroad. There are. The question is, how many and how bad? So I'm not familiar with South Africa or the African continent at all. I've never been, but I have been to Latin America, and I can tell you they have feminists in Dominican Republic. They have feminists in Colombia, in Brazil, and so on. But as Norberus laid out in the video that you played, they don't have the social safety net that the United States has to back it up. For them, it's just talks and mantras. At the end of the day, they still need men. So it's not the same as the U.S., where a woman could just say, "Well, I don't need no man," and just go get a check from the government. It doesn't work like that there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hang on a second. I see somebody in the chat room talking big smack. Brother by the name of #BlackManIsFair. He says, "Pardon, bro,
but you already talking to a lot of defeated men. They don't know or understand their own power, but I do, and we are going to exploit it. American Manosphere has a lot of weak brothers. Well, tell us how weak we are. Black man is fair. Hashtag Black man is fair to the front office. Hashtag Black man is fair to the front office. You can come right on up here and tell us how weak we are. Here's the link is in the chat room, brother. Come right on up and tell us how weak we are. In the meantime, Mr. Showtime, your response to what Pablo said, that the difference between what's going on here and what's going on in your home country, what's going on elsewhere, is the degree of BFF. It's not that BFF don't exist. It's just to a lesser degree over there than it is over here. What do you say to that?
Yeah, hashtag whoop that trick, right? Yeah, so I like what he said that in Latin countries like Brazil and South America, they are less feminists, but at the very least, they may not have the government as a safety net, but they have you, Mr. Man, as a safety net. So you have the upper hand. Like again, I said, the only thing that brothers must be cautious of is not to get played. Because you might have the same problems over there that you have in America if you not have the correct mental wherewithal. If you think that everything is going to be sunshine and roses over there because they see you as a check, right? So again, brothers must just be aware that you can get played if you're not careful. You don't play your cards right, and yeah.
Well, I have a question for our guest from South Africa. Do they have social welfare programs in South Africa? Do the courts require child support? Does the government provide welfare assistance for food and different government subsidies? If you could answer that for us.
Yes. So yeah, in South Africa we call them social grants. So when black females, exercise their BFF, the government bails them out. They have a child, they take the man to court for child support. He gets, divorced, raped. It's the same. It's the exact same. We call them social grants, right? So yeah, it's very pretty much the same. Yeah.
Okay, and Obsidian, that's what I was alluding to, is that when you have that governmental system to aid it, then it becomes bigger, because now they can not only have the mantras and the slogans and the sayings, but they can live it out. But see, you can't live it out in Latin America because they don't have or Asia or Southeast Asia. You can't live it out because there's no food stamps in Thailand.
Yeah, the social safety nets as throughout Latin America, and this is not every country because it varies, but it's few and far between. And the other thing too, as it relates to, okay, say you're married, you get divorced, and now a man's supposed to, at the minimum they generally do child support. I don't know about the alimony and stuff like that when I talk to men about it, but that really only relates to men who actually have their money is a lot longer than everybody else's. Meaning that if the guy is wealthy considering as it relates to everybody else, then there's a bit more enforcement with that gentleman. But with a guy who's maybe kind of midway or kind of just in the middle class, but not solid middle class, or definitely in the poverty class, they don't even try. Like, they're not chasing these guys around. See, there's punishment in the United States if you don't do what you're supposed to as it relates to taking care of your children. All right, but it's very sporadic, and as it relates to enforcement in other countries, if they have any conversation.
Go ahead, Mr. Showtime, and then we'll get Eric. Go ahead.
Yeah, can I just say this? In South Africa, the only thing that we don't have, as far as I know, is alimony. Because I'm not married, and I don't think we have alimony. I don't think so. So that's the one thing that we don't have, alimony. But yeah, carry on.
Let me get Eric. Eric, go right ahead. You're on the air. I'm sitting in radio with Mr. Showtime from South Africa. Go right ahead.
Okay, well, brother Mumia Obsidian Ali, first thing I want to say to you is Alhamdulillah, and to all other brothers on the panels, salutations. I want to go back. I want to go back to the brother who was talking about. Well, it's not about happy wife, happy life. No, it's not. It has to be both, happy husband and happy wife, and then you have a happy life, and then you raise your youngins.
Well, what
I'm
about this?
speaking
Well,
for.
what about this? Busted nut, happy hut.
Okay, well, if you want, listen. If you want to see it that way, that's fine. But me being a man of faith like you, okay, I have different directives.
You don't have a directive.
Okay.
Hold on a second. You don't have a directive to bust a nut?
No. The point I'm making is this, old man. Okay. The comment that I'm referring to is okay. It's not always happy wife, happy life, and I'm saying he's right. It's not always that way. You have to have a happy husband and a happy wife to have a stable, okay, man-woman relationship, right? So you have a stable parent-child relationship with your youngins or with your one youngin. That's the way I did it, okay? And it's worked well for me over 32 years.
Okay.
Men
up to this
lead,
point.
women follow.
All right, so I'm gonna let you guys fight this out. Y'all
Men
got
lead,
that.
women follow.
Okay.
Anybody want to jump in on this?
I don't think they have a disagreement. Why are they fighting? There ain't no disagreement.
There's no disagreement here. Okay.
Exactly.
Women who marry men follow men they can rely on. Yes, they can rely on their leadership. If they can rely on their leadership, then yeah, they'll follow. No question about it. And I know this firsthand because my wife, for the first 10 years that our children were growing up. Well, actually, no, until they went to first grade in school, and they start here in Finland, in the Republic of Finland, where I live now, and I've been living for the last 32 years. They start school at age 7 rather than age 5. Okay, but there's formal education, first grade. Okay, the point I'm making is this: both sides have an obligation. Okay, if you talk about a marital relationship and raising a family, okay, both sides have the obligation. I don't give a damn where in the world you live. Okay, you talking about a man and a woman who's a husband and a wife and a mother and a father to at least one child. You're talking about a nuclear family. Now, for me, it all starts there when you're talking about repopulating the human species, whether we talk specifically about the United States or anywhere else in the world, and you got to raise your children, okay, and give them a life worth living, which means what? All the necessities, y'all know what they are. I don't have to relabel them. But the point of the matter is this: also, the kid. Yeah, go ahead.
I agree with
brother.
you
I'm listening to
100%.
you.
I agree with you 100%. But see, you've been married a long time, and maybe you don't realize what it's like out here. Let me help you out. You're absolutely
I learn
right.
from you guys all the time.
We both have an obligation to each other. But how do you get reciprocation from people who don't even want to smile, who don't even think that they should, quote unquote, fix their man a plate, who can't even cook a meal, who figure it's beneath them that they're being a slave? How in the world would you elicit cooperation, reciprocation, or any of those things when you have a large swath, of women who thoroughly believe that what I just described is a form of slavery?
You know what you do? You reverse your behavior and you leave those grown women to themselves. Leave them alone. Okay? Stay away from them because you know that's not what you want, right? Right?
I agree, but let me add this in there. If the percentage of women who behave, one time I was on a panel right here on Obsidian's channel. We were talking about obesity, right?
Right. Okay.
And they said this is what they said to me. I talked about, hey man, if she weigh over this amount of money, you need to walk away. You need to keep it moving. You know what they said to me? They said, but Pablo, by your standard, we wouldn't have any women. I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I guess you're right. So, by your standard, they won't have any women.
Well, you know what? I'll say this, okay, and then I'm gonna give it to you all because Hope has got a special guest. But I'll leave it like this, okay? My wife right now, okay, my wife is 4.5 years older than I am. I'm 59, kicking 60 in the ass. That means my wife is 63. She's retiring this year, right? She was a kindergarten teacher. She loves educating, being didactic with young children. Okay, she loves doing that stuff, and so that's what she did for the last 20 years. Okay, my wife, she's gained some weight and she's gotten soft. I mean, after all, she's 63 years old. But guess what? Her dress size is still not a size 10 yet. You
But
hear
that's
me?
okay for a 63-year-old. You're absolutely right. These women are 25,
Yeah, and you
26,
know what?
28.
You know what? But
And
I
they're
can't
just
do anything about that. I can't
and
do
they're
anything
just and
about that.
they're
I can't
just
control
guys 18, 20 on. I just finished talking to a lady on Clubhouse. She's
it.
in her 30s right now, her early 30s. She works at the VA hospital, and she is 5'4" and damn near 250.
Okay, but oh man, can we control these women? Obviously, we can't because if we could, we would have changed their minds by now, and we wouldn't have all these obese women in the U.S. and throughout the world, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think that's the point that they're trying to control women. You want look, I'm gonna go ahead and go with this quote from NFL coach Mike Tomlin. Look, we want volunteers, not hostages. So you don't want to have
There
to
you
try to
go.
force women into doing something that they should be doing. And shout out to you, the 30 plus years. I mean, you got somebody who showed up who was ready to be a wife, cooperative from the beginning, and she's been cooperative the entire time. That's how and why you guys have such a long relationship.
Yeah.
It's really very simple. And what women are
Yeah.
trying to do is trying to go against that. Like it's like we're trying to overcomplicate something that's not very complicated. Look, you show up ready to be a wife, ready to be a mother, and ready to be a beneficial partner to the man who's going to do all of those things that you demand. That's required as a husband. Like it's very simple. The men don't have any problem doing that. If a man, so let me put it to you this way: if a man is making a commitment to invest in you and marry you and all this other stuff, he's literally telling you, I don't have a problem investing in you. And I don't have a problem, doing all the stuff that men are supposed to do, being a husband and a father and all of that stuff. My expectation, the standards, the task conditions and standards and the requirements is that you fulfill your part of it. And then let's talk about that weight thing for a second. So look, when you show up, young lady ready to, get ready to be married, and link up with your husband, both of y'all are relatively young. And we understand that over the years, after 3 or 4 kids, we understand that over the years and with weight, with age, there's going to be some level of deterioration and stuff like that, and a slight weight gain. I don't see any issue with that. The problem is that you can't show up at 25 or even 30, with the weight gain and then a couple of kids talking about, okay, now I'm ready for you. Like that dude didn't even get a chance to get you, or have or get the benefit of developing that solid relationship with you when you were at your best year. Somebody else got that, or you were doing, or you just, wasted it, doing whatever. So this is the situation that women are putting themselves in, and that's where, that's the disconnect. We're not saying that, just so women can understand that, look, men aren't saying, we don't expect you to put on a little bit of weight here and there. Now, we really would like for you to keep it under control as best as possible. That being said, you can't show up, like if you've already, in this deteriorated state. It kind of points to a lot of things that you're doing in life. What is it? I think there's something that Arsenio says he kind of had, and I've been kind of picking it up and throwing it around in my life too. The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So if you can't focus in that one area, then, think about family life, think about your kids, about, all the other things that you do as a wife and mother. And that's just one of the other things. And now here's our responsibility as men. We're supposed to give our wife the conditions whereby she can actually, maintain some level of good, solid health as it relates to diet, exercise. If my wife said she needed a gym membership, she gets it. If she wanted equipment, she gets it. If she wants a certain diet, and understand she, the things that she's kind of incorporated, she controls a lot of that stuff as it relates to how we eat and how healthy we are. We actually, try to stay very healthy throughout the week. We kind of splurge a little bit on the weekends, but for the most part, it's your responsibility as a man to actually provide, those conditions. So there's something that both of us have to do. And then, like I said, it's like a long-term thing, but you can't show up, you know, fat, sloppy, overweight, out of shape, looking like what is it? A can of busted, like that, and say, "Hey, marry me today." It's just not gonna happen.
You mean a can of busted biscuits?
Yeah, it's just not. It's disrespectful. I'm gonna tell you something. It's disrespectful to show up that way, talking about you're looking for a husband, and now you're telling us there's like 6 things that a man has to do right off the bat, and we're literally asking you to show up ready, in shape, thin, fit, no kids, you know, with a good attitude, you know, and cooperative, ready to be a wife and mother. Like I'm not really understanding how and why that's so difficult. I'm really not. It's almost as if women are working themselves out of. They really want to work themselves out of the ability for their men to be attracted to them and actually want to marry them. You know.
Well, you know what? My wife demanded virility from me because when I used to work out at home, right? My wife would always worry, "Are you gonna hurt yourself? You're gonna overexert yourself, right? This, that, and the other thing." I said, "Listen, okay. When I came over here, I was a Marine security guard. You think they don't work me much harder than I work myself now that I'm out of the Corps? So let me do this. I know what I'm doing. I know what my limits are, and I will stop then. Okay." But yeah, as far as the virility is concerned, when you know, talking about working out and stuff like that, she said, "Yeah, well, I want you. You're supposed to work me out." I'm like, "Damn, okay. It's like that. Okay. I learned something new."
It's
And
like
so we
that.
went on from there. That's right. It's like that.
There's a lot easier to do. There's a lot easier
I just think that women have this.
She's like 5'4" and damn near 250 pounds. Let me go to Johnny Law. Johnny Law, you're on the air, Obsidian Radio, with MrShowTym all the way from South Africa. Right, go right ahead. You got to unmute your mic. There you go, Johnny Law. Go right ahead. Nope, we still can't hear you. You got to unmute your mic. Oh boy, having a little technical difficulty here. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can do it from over here. Here we go. Go right ahead. You're on the air.
How's that now?
You sound great. Go right ahead.
So interesting conversation there. So, you know, married. So we talk about, you know, half cut. There's some validity to that. There is. It takes the aggression out of the man. You know, he's focused on a purpose. But when you talk about trying to actually find that person, difficult for the guys out here. Instead of demands of us, and we hear it all the time what that is. You got to make it so much money. You got to be able to provide. La la la, and that's fine. The market says the man has to provide this. The market also dictates what the woman is supposed to have. She's supposed to be friendly, right? We require it. No man likes to. I don't care what it says. Too many scientific studies have been done to show that. We prefer women with Coke-shaped bottles, you know, nice. Like brothers like the little nice round posterior with some stuff up top to go along with it. You know, we like to have something to hook up on. That's a requirement. The ladies may not like that. They may think it's objectifying, but it's the truth. So the is that, and no brother should accept less than that. I didn't, and you should not, because you're bringing down the full weight of your life. To go and earn $1 is to live and extend some of your life to go bring that currency back into your home.
Well, I agree with you on that, bro, because my wife was a thin Lizzy when I married her.
You have to, and don't be ashamed to do it. Don't let anyone.
Oh no! Go ahead.
You must demand it, and I demand it. I pay for my memberships. I go.
Somebody driving away over there. MrShowTym, your thoughts.
To be honest, I didn't quite catch the question. He kept getting cut off, so I didn't really understand the question. But I did hear him say something about.
Hang on, Mr. Showtime. Johnny Law, can you restate it?
I'll restate it. It's so much of a question, but it's something to expound upon. Sometimes we have to treat this as economics. There's a market here. In this case, we're talking about finding a mate, the marriage market. There's a requirement for mate that's well understood. It has been understood since the beginning of time. There's also women have international. We've gotten soft on those requirements, and that is to have physical appearance. We have to like what we see. And generally, as a woman that's within an acceptable weight range, that's smaller than we are for height. And I think it's gotten softer on that, and we have to go back to using these quote-unquote marriage market economics and actually apply them. I plan to teach my son that, and that he will not accept anything less than that. And so that's more something to expound, not necessarily a question.
Okay. Did you get that, Mr. Showtime?
Yeah, I got it. So, yeah, he's definitely 100% correct. You know, with women being coddled like a bunch of children, they've forgotten what men are attracted to. Men are attracted to a slim waist, right? Fit, feminine, friendly. Men are attracted to what we see, just like you said. And a lot of those metrics, women seem to have discarded them. But funny enough, on social media, they're still posting booty selfies as if like they pretend like they don't understand what men are attracted to. Men are attracted to, you know, submission, cooperative, and silence. And women are attracted to men that can provide financial security, men that are tall, men that exude traits of survival, such as a man that is tall, 6 feet tall. Quite frankly, I'm around 5'10", borderline 5'11". So yeah, I'm average height. Women are attracted to men that display leadership qualities. So yeah, I agree with what he said. A lot of those metrics have been forgotten thanks to, you know, this whole new age brainwashing. And yeah, the Manosphere has an obligation to remind people of these basic, simple metrics that Black men do not want women that are, you know, bitchy, rude, obnoxious. This is what Black women just don't seem to understand. And then they say, you're just intimidated by a strong. No, I don't want to deal with any strong thingy. I'm strong. I'm the man, not you. So I don't want to deal with a sentient being that is acting like a man. Otherwise, why not just date a dude? Pause. But you get the idea. Men want feminine, friendly, and cooperative, submissive women. That's what Black women fail to understand. Thanks.
Yeah, can I add to that?
Yeah, go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Women are not stupid. They're very smart. They're very intelligent. And the reason they have to be is that, you know, they can't force anything out of men. So they have to be conniving and cunning and, you know, and in some ways a little bit diabolical, but not, you know, too evil. That being said, and I'm not talking bad about them, I'm just telling you that because they don't have the physical strength to force anything out of us, they have to kind of come at us in different ways. So the idea is for us as men, as a collective, to actually drop those standards. Like we have the, again, task, condition, standards, requirements, demands. That's the whole thing. That's how and why you get the, you know, the what is it, the body love movement, or what is it, you know, all these movements, you know, the self-love, this, that, and the third, whatever it is you are, love yourself how you are, and we're supposed to accept that. And men are saying, no, absolutely not. That's fine if that's how you are and that's what you want to do, and you onto this social stuff, that's great. Love, you know, do what you're going to do, great and wonderful. But if you want me to be your husband, if you're trying to qualify yourself to me as a wife, then you need to come with whatever my tasks, conditions, and standards are, and my requirements and demands. You have to meet those. And if you don't, then I'm not going to consider you at all. So Black men hold the line. And matter of fact, shout out to Black men for holding the line in a lot of ways. You know, shout out to Black men for voting the way they want to vote. Shout out to Black men for dismissing and saying no to women who already show up with children. Shout out to Black men who are, you know, who's saying, you know what? No, I don't want a woman who, is going to be argumentative or disruptive and chaotic and dysfunctional. Shout out to the men who are saying, you know what, no to toxic women. Like, we wouldn't praise, women are actually praised for saying no to men who are, chaotic, dysfunctional, and problematic. So we should be doing the exact same thing. People are talking about all of these standards. I know my work, this, that, and the third. Okay, then fine. But what I'm really seeing is the idea is to get men, and specifically Black men, to drop those standards. And understand, it varies from man to man. You can have your standards. I'm not going to question another man's standards of what he wants in his wife. If he's looking for a mate and somebody who's going to, he's going to invest in over a lifetime and produce children with, you get to set the standards and you get to qualify that woman. And unfortunately, a lot of women just aren't going to qualify. And that's what they're upset about. The idea is to get us to relax. No, absolutely not. Get it where you can find it, whether it's, and I want to make something clear here too. There, every woman in the United States is not somebody that you can't work with. But it's unfortunate that we have an overwhelming majority that are kind of ruin their chances. That being said, if you have to go to someplace else, okay, then you do that. If you have to go outside of the race, you do that too. Get it where you can get it if that's what you want, but hold the line, because I can guarantee you, if you say, you know what, you start relaxing those standards, and then you go ahead and link up with that person and you make her your wife, you're going to regret that you made that decision. That's a lifetime. It's a life decision. Nothing personal. Has nothing to do with the woman and who she is and all this other stuff and everything else. You're making a business decision as well. So think about it in those terms.
No busted Pillsbury dope biscuits.
All right. We're going to wrap it up right here. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And MrShowTym, how can we catch up with you on social media?
On my videos, I have links to my channels right there on the screen. It's called at MrShowTym on pretty much all social media platforms. Just at MrShowTym without the E, right? Just, as you see on the screen here, it's MrShowTym, right? That you can find me on Instagram, and on Twitter it's MusoMCL10, right? So yeah, thank you so much for having me. This has been a good, productive live stream. A blessing to have connected to the old man Obsidian, and thank you so much for having me.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, MrShowTym all the way from South Africa. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in this morning to the TGIF edition of Obsidian Radio. We will be back later on this evening because I have my man, The Art of Will. You saw him last week, and you had a very interesting conversation with the lovely Miss Melanie King. Well, he's going to be back. We got the South African perspective this morning. Tonight, we're going to get the Asian perspective. My man, The Art of Will be my special guest tonight, 8 p.m. EST, 8 p.m. EST. I'll see you then. Until next time, y'all, peace. We are gone.
Do I have talent, Dad?
Of course you have talent. You got all the talent in the world.
Can I be a baseball player?
You can be anything you want to be. Remember, the saddest thing in life is wasted talent. You could have all the talent in the world, but if you don't do the right thing, then nothing happens. But when you do right, guess what? Good things happen. Hear me? Hear me?
Yeah. Woke up, couldn't remember what my dream was, but it was probably the same one, where I'm sitting at an easel in the rain with a masterpiece, trying not to let the paint run. It ain't really nothing new, cousin bare knuckle boxer with the snooze button, but he never stays down. I've had mornings where I wanted to tell him I wasn't coming, but man, that's how I'm feeling every day now. Take a breath, punch the clock, here we go again. Straighten out the name tag, tuck the polo in. Trying to swallow my pride, but going out of my mind. Taking orders from motherfuckers I'm older than. Lunch break, come back to make jump change. Starting to feel like I'm running out of some days. Yeah, cross my heart, hope to die. My love letter with no reply. Close my eyes and imagine. What if anything could really happen? What if daydreams was everlasting? I know it's silly, ain't it? But what if I really made it? It could say that I rap without feeling humiliated. I would send a thank you to everybody I proved wrong. Be in the studio before I put my shoes on. Jump out my bed every morning like a youngin' on December 25th and tear the ribbon off a new song. They would love it and they play it loud. Pour out my heart on the cut, they soak it up like a paper towel. They would stop me in the street every week just to say, keep holding down the city, boy, you make us proud. I'd be happy as could be, dude, like I jumped right out of the fishbowl and into the deep blue. But there I go, letting my mind get ahead of me, swimming in the rainy day reverie. Clock out, bus home, and change costumes. Sometimes I wonder what I'm in it for. Another night, another 20-minute chance to convince 20 people that I'm worth 20 minutes more. If I knew that even one lone listener was with it, I would spit it till the club had to close down. Like a tired old horn player blowing with his case propped open on the street in the ghost town. Take a breath, grab the mic, here we go again. Crowd thinning, I pretend that I ain't noticing. They said, Richie, yo, you know we got your back, but it's late and we ain't sitting around waiting for the show to end. Type of night to turn bangers into sad songs. Didn't even make enough to catch a cab home. Same train, same lonely ride. The cold world rolls slowly by. Close my eyes and imagine. What if anything could really happen? What if my profession was my passion? What if I could sit in the back, hit every city on the map and get the hell about this labyrinth I'm trapped in? It goes hotel, motel, Holiday Inn. Around the world with my crew, we just follow the wind for real. No more waiting on the wish, no more hanging around. Put the sails up and never let the anchor down. I would light up every face in the crowd. Cold tearing up the mic like ice in the flame. The laughs of wild times, hellos and goodbyes, and too many unforgettable nights to remember. I would wonder if it all could be what it seems. Nobody wake me up, please, life is but a dream. But there I go, letting my mind get ahead of me, drowning in the rainy day reverie, pure imagination.